वेलकम टू रीड एंड रिवील। आज का टॉपिक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है। आज हमारे मोहन सर जी एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक पे आपको कुछ सिखाने वाले हैं, हाउ टू मेक विल। सो ये समय हर एक के जीवन में आता है कि हमें एक ना एक दिन हमारी विल बनाना जरूरी हो जाता है। पहले के जमाने में ये सब कुछ नहीं होता था। लाइक जो भी बोला है बुजुर्गों ने कि बेटे को ही पूरा प्रॉपर्टी जाएगा, बेटियां तो पराया धन होती है तो उनको दिया नहीं जाता है। सेम थिंग इंसिडेंट हैपेंड विथ मी आल्सो व्हेन माय पेरेंट्स पास्ड अवे। सो एवरीवन वाज लाइक इसका शादी नहीं हुआ है तो भी कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, प्रॉपर्टी भाई को ही जाएगा। माय ब्रदर एंड सिस्टर इज दे बोथ आर मैरिड, but my mom and dad used to say like this मुंबई का हाउस फ्लैट विल गेट, मतलब मुझे ही मिलेगा। तो मेरे भाई और सिस्टर को कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं था, बट आवर रिलेटिव्स यूज्ड टू से हाउ कैन यू टेक दैट फ्लैट, वो तो बेटे को जाना चाहिए। बेटे को कुछ नहीं जाता है, दो यू आर नॉट मैरिड यू शुड नॉट टेक द फ्लैट। मतलब भाई को ज्यादा शेयर मिला है, लाइक 70% माय ब्रदर गॉट, देन टू बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फ्लैट आई हैड टू लिसन सो मेनी थिंग्स। सो ये सब बातें आती है, तो आई वांटेड योर टेक ऑन दीज थिंग्स, प्लस वी विल लर्न हाउ टू मेक विल फ्रॉम मोहन सर। थैंक यू सो मच सर, the stage is yours.
Yeah. I'm happy the flat belongs to you now.
Thank you so much. Even my mom and dad must be happy.
Yes. Should we straight away start, or would anybody like to?
Sure. We can start, or if anyone has any question.
Yeah, अगर beginning में or questions we can always have at the end.
Yeah.
क्योंकि the topic needs to be constructed in a certain manner.
Sure, sir.
For you to understand will, I'll have to take you to Treta Yuga.
Okay.
Okay. Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga से पहले, sorry, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. In that Yuga, you know something, will was in India 7,000, 8,000 years ago. वो आजकल की बात नहीं है. Even before people were living in caves and eating worms, we had wills. Okay, the legal will came much later. But हमारे यहाँ will था. And that will was oral will.
Yeah.
That was because the spoken word, remember India, when I'm talking about India and its culture, I prefer to use the word Bharata and its culture. We had a statement which is not a joke. Pran jaye par vachan na jaye. The spoken word was very, very important. Well, much later only the spoken word got damaged. But look at the will. I would construct it in the form of a story and then I bring you to the will.
Mm-hmm.
It was Dasharatha's will that Rama should rule. Bas ho gaya. Done.
Yeah.
No second questions. Somebody disputed the will. And वो जिन्होंने प्राण वचन दिया उनकी प्राण चली गई. He could not change the will. So she went and told Ram कि तुम्हारे फादर ने बोला है. He said, forget about what father said. आप क्या बोलती हो? So she said, I give you order like this. He moved away. That was the respect for the will, the spoken word. He said, if you tell me that father said so, or if you simply say, I am saying so, I will obey it. So this system prevailed for a long time. That is, bol diya to bol diya. And the will came only for propertied people. Brahmins did not know what will was, because kahan Brahmin ke paas jada se jada property ek kamandalu tha. That's all was the property. And the property that was given to him was by the king. And the king took it, always passed down to generation. No ownership. Brahmins never owned properties. Properties were owned by Kshatriya and Vaishya. So, and it was all by spoken word. Okay. And when I'm talking about Kshatriya and Vaishya, it is not a caste. It's a vyavastha. समझो एक बिल्डिंग है, बिल्डिंग की सिक्योरिटी was provided by the Kshatriyas. Water supply, electricity supply, all the things was provided. That the system that provided that was called Vaishya system. And then your housekeeping, etc., was provided by somebody that was called Shudra system. It was not any jati or something. समझिए आप लोग gated community में रहते हैं, one day your housing maintenance fellows didn't come, क्या हालत होगी आपकी? So remember, we were not a caste-based society. We are a varna and karma-based society. So the spoken word was important till it came to the beginning of the Mahabharata. When that time the king Bharat, he said, हमारे जो संतान है, I don't find them yogya enough. So I'm going to give the kingdom to the next person who I find yogya. And he gave it passed on like that. So again it came idhar udhar hote raha. Then came the dispute between the sons of Shantanu and unke jo ye jo the descendants came. Should the king be Dhritarashtra? They said no. One who cannot defend himself cannot be the king. So Pandu was found fit. And then came the law, firstborn will become. Vaise law. So that is how the law was made. And it is based on this dharma that the Indian Succession Act was made. Or we have a separate law for, it's a Muslim personal law. So there are two separate laws in this country. And again, both of them originated from the kings. Even they also followed that the firstborn will be the king. The firstborn. Till the time of Aurangzeb, it was like that. Shah Jahan wanted Dara Shikoh to be the firstborn. But then Aurangzeb said nothing doing. He finished off his brothers and he took over. So the Muslim personal laws started working. Now that is just the background. We are going to simply stick to how to make your or my will. Okay. For making a will, first thing you should have is you should have some property. Some property worth transferring. Agar nahi hai to don't bother. Okay, you should have property. And first question you should ask, is it self-acquired property or is it inherited property? Inherited property means you cannot make a will. You can make a will only for your portion. But if it is self-acquired property, you can make a will. Okay. So now we'll go about, I'm going to dwell about making a will according to Indian laws alone. I don't know the laws of the other country. I'm going to make about Indian laws alone. So there are some basic questions. Can you handwrite a will? Yes. In an ordinary piece of paper, आपके notebook में, you can handwrite your own will. What are the conditions? One, you must have something to transfer. You must be of sound mind. You must not be under any kind of coercion or undue influence. Okay, this is the condition. So when you are making a will, you should first, this is how you should start. Is there a format? Yeah, there is a legal format if you want. If you pay 10,000-15,000 rupees to a professional, he will get it done. Lawyers are there, chartered accountants are there, they'll get it done for you. But seniors today is trying to tell you how to do it free of charge. Ab hame donation de dijiye. I'm not asking for. Make seniors today strong. We'll give you information on so many things. Health ke baare mein now will also we are giving. Okay. So imagine we all have to write a will. If you have a property, bank deposits, jewelry, kuch bhi ho. So what you have to the first thing, handwriting, you have to write, I, so and so, write your full name. Okay. AKA, also known as. So your short name. For example, suppose I was to write a will, I'll write, I, Mohan Krishnan, AKA K Mohan, because in very many places I am known as K Mohan. K Mohan, son of my father's name, late so and so, residing at, so आपके present residential address with permanent address at, वहां आपके permanent address लिखिए. I am making this will. Okay, this is the first thing you will write. Second, you will write, I am of sound mind. Next, you will write, I am making this will out of my free will. There is no coercion or undue influence. ये आपको लिखना ही होगा. One, your name, father's name, current address, permanent address, then a certification that you are of sound mind, you are not under undue influence, and you are not under any kind of coercion. ये आपको लिखना होगा. Then you say, I make the following will. You can write the whole thing by hand and sign it. Every page must be signed. Suppose you are going, your will stands for 10 pages. Every page must be signed. Okay? And they say that if the entire will is purely written by hand only, then you need not have a witness. There are divided opinions. Some people say minimum 2 witnesses will be there. I would recommend have 2 witnesses. And the witness should sign every page where you have signed. And the person making the will and the witness must be present together. So I make the will is sent by post to somebody, he sends a witness, then another person says this is not valid. This is not a valid witnessing. Witness should be personally present. So witness name, identity, in this today's time, Aadhaar card or PAN card, whatever, full signature must be signed. And they should say in the writing, testator's signature attested. The person making the will is called a testator. Okay, the lady, if she is making the will, she is called a testatrix. Testator, testatrix. So wherever there is a signature of the testator or testatrix, the witness signature should also appear alongside. The witness, who can be witness? Witness should be independent persons of sound mind. Same thing, without undue influence, without coercion, and adults. Can family members be? They say if family members are part of the dispute, it's a problem, but it's preferable to have an outside witness. So अगर आपको will बनाना है, तो your signature attestation, please get it done by your bank. Sign, bank will say verified signature wherever you have an account. The bank manager and assist, okay, yeah, I'll slow it down. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Wherever you're going to do it with a bank, anyway, this is available as a recorded version, so you can listen to it. Not a problem. And you don't have to really, take, I'll give you wherever necessary, I'll tell you to take. So you can always get it countersigned by your banker, attesting your signature. Or you can get it attested by a chartered accountant who files your income tax returns. Whoever. If you have a property, there must be a chartered accountant. So chartered accountant office, the chartered accountant, 2 partners can attest your signature. In which case, the witness signature will not be disputed, cannot be disputed. So there is property to be transferred. There is a testator. Achha, now, all your properties which you want transferred, make it into schedules. For example, suppose you have 2-3 flats, 1 flat in Bombay, 1 flat in Pune, 1 in Lonavala, just giving you examples. You make a schedule of properties. Okay? And you have to write there the description of the property and the description as given by the document. They will say, on the western side, wo ek survey report jaisa hota hai. You describe the property as given there. Okay? That will be your, that's where the property will be, a property ka description. Whether joint names or single names, you put it there. Single names or joint names. 1 minute, please. I just have to give an OTP to somebody. OTP on earlier. Huh? Oh, achha, WhatsApp now. Yes, please, yeah. 605265. 265. Right. So it is called schedule of properties. आप पूरा schedule बनाए. Give the schedule of properties. Also give the names, whose names it is. And in each of that property, and after that you make the schedule of property. You will have to clearly say this is self-acquired property and attach proof for self-acquired property. What is the proof? The income tax return that you have filed. There you have showed that property and whatever income you are getting. And if you have taken a bank loan, that bank loan certificate and loan closure certificate, if you attach, it is proof that it is self-acquired property. So, schedule of properties and proof of self-acquired properties. That is schedule 1, schedule 2. Make a schedule 3 in which you list out all your fixed deposits, bank related fixed deposits, other private company fixed deposits, all that you put down. Who is the holder, who is the nominee, पूरा details डाल दीजिए and attach a copy of the latest statement taken from the bank. You can go to the bank website and say, give me a balance statement. They will give you a balance. It will be automatic. Up download करके print करके रख दीजिए. So balance statement. So it's clearly proved. Achha, that is list of deposits. Stock and shares, if you have proper like equity, stock and things like that. Uska bhi details you will get. It is available in, there is a proper forum. It's available. You can take a printout of that. Every month you will get a, today we are discussing how to make a will. So whatever discovery is your, if somebody is managing your mutual fund and stocks, etc., they can give it to you. Or whatever platform through which you are buying your stock, they can give you a printout of all the stocks and shares. Suppose you are doing, let's say there is a broking company called, I'm just taking a name, I'm not marketing anything. Okay, there is a broking company called Grow. If you are investing in Grow, then you can take a printout from Grow. There is an app called Money Control. In Money Control, you can list all your stocks, shares, mutual funds. You can take a printout of all of them. Make a very thorough professional job. It takes time. And you make a very thorough professional job. So schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3, schedule 4, schedule 5. What are your movable assets? Jewelry, cars, okay, vintage cars, antiques. आपके पास छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की वो तलवार है तो it's a property. So list out what are the things you have. Jewelry, particularly ladies के पास jewelry. You list out every item in the jewelry. क्या क्या है? Earpieces so much, necklace so much, bangles so much. If possible, jeweler will give you a certificate also. What is the weight of each one of them? So attach that schedule. Okay. Then comes certain things like which has more sentimental value. Okay, I'll show you something which I have a very sentimental value. This pen of mine, it is 37 years old. Somebody gifted to me when I was in 1987. So I don't know what is the other value. Do you got a sentimental value? So I can put the name of whoever I want to give this as sentimental value. So then these are called things of sentimental value. Your books, how you should be disposed of. What are they? Iska list banana. So now your schedule is ready. Now after making this, in your will proper, you start writing. First say, the following people are my legal heirs. Okay, you have to list out your legal heirs. So legal heir is spouse, and initially the law said legitimate children. These days, children born outside a legal marriage are also considered for willing. You can. Okay. So you can name. Don't write the illegitimate child down. You can write their son, daughter, whatever. Okay. Son, you can write the mother's name or father's name. So you write the spouse, name of the spouse. Only legally wedded spouse is eligible for getting. But you can gift it. You cannot put it in the will. You can gift it. Because if you just will it to a not a legally wedded spouse, then there can be a dispute. But you can give. So उसके पे कुछ देना है तो पहले ही gift कर देंगे. I know here we will not have a problem. If you have problems, talk to me personally. Okay. So spouse, children. Put out all the children. In case you can also give to siblings, brothers, sisters, you can give. So list them all out. These are my first legal heirs, other heirs. Okay, if it is a inherited property, then siblings, their children, all of them will come into the picture. All of them will be involved. So make a list of all these people and then you write clearly. From Schedule 1, the property listed at number 1 in Schedule 1 should go to so-and-so. Property listed at this place should go to so-and-so. The stocks held should go to so-and-so. Jewelry, clearly write that. This should go to these people. Line by line you write. Take your time, line by line you write. Whatever you write, wherever you put your signature, get it attested by 2 witnesses. Okay? And as many pages as they are. So now, once I will come to other aspects of will. And towards the end of the will, you will have to name an executor of the will. In case something happens to the testator, who should execute the will? Who should execute the will means who will see that who gets the share property. That person is called an executor of the will. Okay. So property, testator, beneficiaries, executor. These 4 must be there. So having prepared the will, where should the will be kept? You can keep it safely in your house. You can also keep it in a bank locker. You can leave it with your lawyer, chartered accountant, or executor. You can leave it with anybody. No problem at all. And before giving the will to somebody, put it in a cloth-backed envelope, seal it, and say, this contains my will to be opened only in the eventuality of my death. And that is the legal document. Now, let's look at some other questions. In case this is a purely handwritten will, should I type my will? Though it is not compulsory, in India, handwritten wills are accepted, but it will be wiser to type your will. Print it out. Now, no longer typing, you can do it in a word processor. And if you go to Google and search format of will, there are so many formats available. You can convert it into a Word document, just fill it up and get it printed. Okay. So get it printed in a medium bond paper. Okay, in a medium bond paper, not in a very flimsy paper, medium bond paper. Should I type it in a government document? Okay. If you want to register it, you can type it in a government document also, that in government stamp paper. And there are charges depending on some states it's 21 rupees, in some states it's 50 rupees. So the registration, the stamp paper charges vary. Okay. For registration, so after typing it out in a proper medium bond paper, okay, read it carefully for spelling mistakes. Spelling mistakes can finish the show off. So read the spelling mistakes carefully for spelling mistakes. And if you correct any spelling mistake, okay, you have to sign on the side. And those signature, again, it has to be attested. So wherever spelling mistakes are corrected, you have to sign. So read it carefully once, twice, thrice, make it absolutely clear, and then print it out. Having taken a printout, also make a digital copy. You can also make a digital copy, save it in a pen drive or in an external hard disk drive. Okay. There is also a site where you can upload this document to a DigiLocker. It can be uploaded also into a DigiLocker. So make a will, get it witnessed, name an executor, print it out, and register the will. The registration of the will can be done with a sub-registrar of that area. Wherever your house is, there will be a sub-registrar. There, the registration fee is not very high. So if you are going to register it, you can take the help of a lawyer or a chartered accountant who does all this work. It is not a very expensive affair. Even if you spend 10,000-15,000 rupees, it is worth it. Okay. And the custody of the will can be left with the executor or put in a bank locker. If you put it in a bank locker, leave a document that this locker, there is a will in this place. Okay. So the will is ready. Now, what happens if someone dies without making a will? Then it is called, the property is, they will say that so and so died intestate. Intestate means one who has died without making a will. So if a person dies without making a will, all his property and assets will be divided equally among co-parceners. The beneficiaries are called co-parceners. It will be divided equally among co-parceners. Very equal division. It is called dying intestate. Now there is a person, father. All of you saw the movie Bhagwan. Okay, there, what's his name? He wants to bequeath all his property to Salman Khan and not to any of the four sons. The proceeds of the book Bhagwan, he wants to give it to his adopted son, Salman Khan and his wife, and not to his four sons. Can he do it? Yes. In which case, that son, Salman Khan, not being a legally son, he cannot write it in a will, he can gift it. But in the will, he can specifically disown all the sons. He can say, I disown my sons, I don't want to give them. वो क्या ना हिंदी फिल्म का डायलॉग मार दो, एक फूटी कौड़ी नहीं देंगे. वो डायलॉग याद रखना, अपनी मर्जी से शादी की तो एक फूटी कौड़ी नहीं देंगे. So then this fellow will say, मुझे ताज की नहीं, मुझे dialogues you can. So I don't want to use the word, the testator can disown anybody, provided it is self-acquired property. If it is inherited property, you cannot disown anybody. Sometimes it happens, even I am building my house, I take a loan. As middle class people, where is the source of loan? Your own savings, bank loan, then your withdrawal from provident fund. फिर भी short पड़ता है. So what are the two sources? हमारे World Bank, father-in-law and father, two World Banks हैं. They will give you soft loan. Soft loan means return ना भी करो तो चलता है. Okay, and if your wife is the only daughter, means a soft loan ho jata. You need not even return the money. So when you are taking soft loan from anybody, father, brother, father-in-law, particularly father-in-law, brother-in-law, take something in writing that I am borrowing this amount from you. And when you have repaid, please get another document saying that the money is fully repaid. Otherwise, what will happen? Your self-acquired property will not be your self-acquired property. You took 1 lakh from your father and did not return. Your brother can say, no, it is not self-acquired property, it is common property. You saw the movie Charitrahin? उसी के ऐसा हो जाएगा. बाबा का एक साइकिल शॉप था 200 रुपए का. उसको बोला भाई ब्रदर से 200 रुपए फादर का प्रॉपर्टी है, वो मेरा शेयर बनता है. So if you are borrowing money from brothers, brother-in-law, father-in-law, father, ensure that it is returned. And after returning, get a sign off saying that the loan which was obtained by this document is repaid in full. So get a release document. So this is a proper method of doing a will, and especially and bequeathing, giving it to everybody. Achha. So interstate also I have covered. Registration I have covered. Where to place the will I have covered. Now, what are the areas in which disputes can rise? And you have to provide for. And these are drawn from real life cases. There is a family where there are 4 siblings, one son and a few sisters. I don't remember how many sisters, a few sisters were there. The mother was sick, and for the last 10 years, she spent time with her son. The son was taking care of the mother, and the mother died. And before dying, the son got a proper will made because they had sufficient property in their village and proper will made. And based on the will, the property was taken over by the son. One of the sisters filed a case. Say it now, when the will is not accepted and you want the court to intervene, it's called probate of the will. Probate means I want the court to say that the will is proper. So probate on the will. One of the sisters raised a dispute saying that for the last 10 years, my mother was bedridden and with the son's case. Son's house only. And son used to give her medicine every day, take care of her and things like that. So he put undue influence on the mother. Okay. Then one other sister said, yes, whenever I came to visit the mother, my mother said, I have told your brother to share the property equally. Pata nahi kya what she said. So she went and gave an affidavit saying that my mother has also said, oral will liya hai unhone. Ab 15 saal ho gaye, still case is going. So to avoid all this, get the will registered, and preferably when such disputes are there, it is better to get a sign off from the other disputing parties. Now, when a person dies intestate, and how do you know these are the heirs? These heirs should go to the court, produce the death certificate, and what other documents are necessary, and they should get a legal heir certificate. Okay. Now, if you don't get, what will happen is this property will lie disputed for years together. And you cannot rebuild. Imagine there's a property in a prime location. Somebody wants to develop the property. You can't do anything with it. So you should get a legal heir certificate. Intestate I've covered. Executor, yeah. Disputes. One way to provide dispute. Another person from whom I saw him handle the property, get sufficient property. So what he did before actually signing, making the will, he called each person. He had about 3-4 daughters and a couple of sons. So he called the daughters. He said, see, I am going to build this house to your elder brother, this house to your younger brother. This is the value as of today. I am giving you so much share in cash. So please sign a document saying that you received your share. And when the daughter signs, he made the son-in-law as a witness, so that he ensured that there is no further dispute. So it is, if you have property, you have to manage the entire will-making process intelligently. Undue influence. Okay, yeah. Would you like to keep your will secret, or would you like to make it known in advance? That is your choice. Can you change the will anytime? Yes, you can change it anytime. Anytime you want, you can change your will. You can make changes to your will. And the will can be done as an addendum. You need not rewrite the whole will. You can add a document and say, with this modification, I would like to make modification in my will, and then write the modification. Okay, you can make modification up to the very last moment. Not till you can read and write, you can do all this. Okay. What happens if the will is lost? If it is a registered will, you can always, there will be a record in the registrar's office. That's why we say make a digital copy and upload it in the DigiLocker. But generally what happens is, let's say there is an elderly person, very old, lot of property, and the person has already made the will. On the day this elderly senior citizen passes away, if the immediate people surrounding, they come to know there was a will, they can burn it, destroy it, or so that they will say, no, it is intestate. Everybody has to get equal share. So in which case, a copy of the will in a digital form or in a email file, in a soft form will be acceptable. Only the court can accept it. That is one. Now, when the will is being probated, then they will have to read the will. The executor will read the will. This is the will. And he will say, who are the witnesses? The witnesses have to be present. And the witnesses have to be present and identified. Now, what happens if the witnesses are no longer there? Died. In that case, the witness signature does not become invalid. Somebody who's present there, who knows this person, can say, yes, this is the valid signature. I have seen him sign. That's why a bank signature is valid, because even if the manager is not there, the stamp will be good enough. So that will be good enough for attesting the signature of the person concerned of the will. Normally, wills are disputed on account of undue influence. Staying with one son, then that son has may put pressure and taken away all the property. Okay. Now, suppose I have a property in my name. I have registered a property in my wife's name. Suppose, you just imagine, I don't have it always. I've registered out of my funds, out of my savings, I have invested in my wife's name for another property. I cannot write a will for my wife's property. It is my money, all right. But the person, the moment it is registered in another person's name, it becomes their will, their property. I cannot will that. I cannot say I gifted my wife so much on that. So once given means given. I cannot write a will on that. Okay. If property is owned jointly, it's preferred to make a joint will. I am owning and my wife is also owning, prefer to make a joint will or make a simple will. After me, the property will go to the wife will decide what to do. You can make one line will. Okay. Now, what happens if your bill is not registered? It has got signature. Okay. It is the testator has signed, it is properly written, and it is witnessed, but it is not registered. It does not make the will invalid. The will continues to be valid. What you have to do is, you have to go to the court. The court will say, affix appropriate stamp with penalty. So 100 rupees ka stamp paper means pay 100 rupees fee and 100 rupees penalty. It becomes a stamped, accepted, registered will. So just because you have not stamped or registered the will, the will does not become ineffective. Okay. And don't discuss your will with everybody. मैंने इसको इतना दिया है, मैंने उसको उतना दिया है. Don't discuss. These are the normal precautions you have to take. You can even cover your balances abroad, money abroad, everything can be covered. There are some laws which I would like you to mention because we have also children working abroad. If your children are working in the Middle East, you have to be careful about one thing. Or if you are working in the Middle East, you have to be careful about one thing. There is a person A who works in Dubai. According to the laws of that country, you can't own property there. Non-Emirates person cannot own property there. And even Saudi Arabia, non-Saudi Arabian cannot own property there. Only some companies are allowed to own property for business only for the sake of business. Otherwise, people are not allowed to own property there. Now, in Dubai and many of these Middle Eastern countries, when the property owner dies, the property immediately goes into the hands of the government. It is not available for distribution. So the survivors have to go there and file affidavits and say, we are the survivors, things like that, and get the property. So if you have property in Middle East and things like that, means cash balance, things like that, apart from keeping the minimum amount in the Middle East, transfer it to countries like Singapore or Hong Kong, where the common British laws function. Singapore laws are like that. You can produce an affidavit and they'll transfer the money. Singapore, so that you ensure that the money is transferred, it is not stuck there. The maximum number of cases pending, the maximum number of murders and violence take place because of property. Mahabharat was fought for property. Okay. Anyway, the biggest land disputes, maximum disputes are pending because of property disputes. So if you have self-acquired property, make a will. If it is inherited property, I know a family in which 4 generations have still not made the will. Great grandfather made a property. 4th generation is there, now they have still not made the will. Kya kiya jaye? You have to trace and you have to, otherwise you cannot sell the land. You can't even rent it out. Somebody will dispute and say, you can't rent it out. So making a will, anivarya hai, it is important. And you don't need any expertise. And what language should you write the will? Whatever language you are comfortable. If you are writing in any other language other than English, please have a translation provided. Translated copy of the will. Because courts, if you have to say you have a will written in a language, in Kashmir there is a language called Dogri, you written in that language, Tamil Nadu mein dispute hota hai. So better have an English translation. And just as managing the property is important, managing your money is important, which we saw 2 weeks ago. Managing the money after one's lifetime is also very important. That's what the will comes for. The biggest relief is if you have a will, your children won't fight. Otherwise, the saddest aspect is when my own children fight for my property. And it's good to have an understanding. In fact, this is what I would recommend to middle class people. I'm not interfering in the lives of upper class, middle class people who have with hard earned money, pasine se jinhone 1 or 2 flats kharida hai. Please sit with your children across and bolo and make them put a condition. Give me a promise, tu mera shrard mat karo, but at least don't fight over my property. I told it to my children. या तो श्राद्ध करो, अंतिम संस्कार मत करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन प्रॉपर्टी पे झगड़ा नहीं कर. My daughter said कि अगर समझो brother disputes, I'll say I will give up all my claim. At least you will die peacefully. Many a person does not die peacefully because will has not been made. अरे बच्चे लोग झगड़ा करेंगे. And when it comes to property, please don't take sides. Don't tell a weaker son. So there'll be one son, is a gentleman. उसको बोलना नहीं है कि देखो ये दुर्योधन का सब दे दो ना, तुम्हारा ही तो भाई है, बोलना नहीं. Don't take sides. बोल दो नहीं, बांट के खाओ, बांट के खाओ. And don't disinherit anybody. Don't leave out anyone from your will unless there is a very, very serious cause. उसने हमारी मर्जी से शादी नहीं की, so I am disinherited. It's a stupid reason. He married a girl from another religion. Yeah, you can always say he has changed religion, therefore I didn't disinherit. That's a difference. He married a girl from another religion. I disinherited. Male santan nahi hua, so disinherited. It's a bakwas. Don't inherit. You can always say if he is arrested on charges of sedition, of working against the country, terrorist activities, then I will disinherit. That's a different thing. So, soch samajh ke. And when should you make the will? When this is in proper working condition. Ek baar your Alzheimer's disease ho gaya, so that means this condition is not available. So somebody will say it is not made in proper condition. So if you have property and when this is still working and then you are able to think sensibly, make the will. Don't make the will when you are too happy. Don't make the will when you are too sad. Because when you are too sad, you will write some bakwas there. This will go to the Prime Minister of India, ऐसा कुछ उल्टा सीधा लिख देंगे, or to this ashram you will write. And happy means you will give it to also your next door neighbor and things like that. So don't make will when you are too happy. Don't make will when you are too sad. Preferably, if you have persons of your age, seniors, who you can trust and consult, family members, discuss courage. And if, and I think the children are educated these days, you can also discuss with them orally. This is what I intend to do. If you have any other thing, let me know. This will lead to avoid dispute. So much on making of wills. If there's any other question, we will handle it as a process. So is this clear? Testator. Who is a testator? One who makes the will is called a testator. Property, everybody knows. Okay. Legal heirs are the beneficiaries who will get. There will be an executor. So 4 things. And then it should be typed. If you are going to type a will in medium bond paper, it can be, there should be 2 witnesses, independent witnesses, and it can be registered at the sub-registrar's office. If you are not able to register, you can even fill it out and notarize it. There will be a notary public. So he will certify that the will was made in my presence. So that itself is quite a good thing. You can do all this. Make a will. If you have property, please do make a will. Okay, now questions. If anybody has, I will gladly answer.
Anybody has any question? You can raise your hand or you can just put it.
Put that hand up sign. Yes, see. Dinesh bhai. Dinesh ji.
Sir, unmute sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I have a conditional will? Like after my death, it will go to my wife. And after her, this will be divided into, this will be given to this, in this fashion.
Okay, first thing, Santosh ji, don't say after my death, because we want you to live 100 years. Yeah. You say after the testator's death.
Okay.
After the testator's death, the testator can write that it should go to the spouse.
Yeah.
But how it will be distributed, he cannot write. After he is gone. He can only say this much, that after the testator, after my death, the testator's death, the property will devolve on my wife. She is free to distribute it as per her will. Okay, that's what you can. You can say after her thing it will go, because then it is no longer your will, it becomes her death will. So that's he or her or man or woman. So you can say it can go to the spouse. One recommendation is, suppose you have one house. This is a recommendation. It's not. I've seen some people write like this. He says, after the death, my death, this property will go to devolve on my wife. The word uses devolve on my wife. She is free to rent or dispose it of as per her wishes, or will it to anyone as per choice. ये बना दे तो पक्का चलेगा. So in this case, it's just a 3-line will, so that the spouse is taken care of. But if you want to ensure that after the spouse, that it should go to so and so, better put it in your will. There are people who have said 50% will go to the son, 25% will go to this daughter, 25% will go to that daughter. हो गया 50%, 100%. So you can distribute it percentage wise. Uska 25, uska 25. In which case, what will happen is everything will be converted to money value on that date. So if you have more than one property, it's good to do a current valuation. So this property should go to this. It's better to do it that. ठीक है? Anil Singh ji. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Nice.
Any other question? I'm welcome. We can come back. Yeah, Anil ji.
सर गुड इवनिंग सर. सर बहुत अच्छा, काफी इंफॉर्मेटिव था. बट एक चीज, सपोज दिस प्रॉपर्टी इज इन जॉइंट नेम, सो स्टेटर कैन गिव दैट will for one or for both have to write?
If it is in joint name, the will has to be made by joint.
Okay.
Okay.
Means we have to make
joint name means 50-50.
Yeah.
So the testator, if he doesn't want to make a joint will, he can make a will saying my half of the property will devolve on the joint owner after me. Bas, ho gaya. Or
And
they have to jointly make a will that we will distribute it this way.
so means one person has to make two wills, which are the self-owned properties plus joint properties. Like
No, you
this?
can make
No.
one will for everybody.
Okay.
In your schedule of property, you can say this is a jointly acquired property.
Right.
And the jointly acquired property will be divided like this. Self-acquired property will be divided like this. Inherited property will be divided like this. You can put it in different schedules and make it in one will.
Sir, one more question. Suppose status write that property will go to his or her spouse, and spouse unfortunately dies before he or him. In that case, what will happen?
Yeah, what will happen is,
again we have to write again will.
Another will, because the beneficiary of the will is not there anymore.
Right. Okay.
So the beneficiary not being there.
In that, can we sequentially not write? Suppose after a spouse, they will be the taken. No.
No. See, you can't say that. You can at best say the property can be distributed in the following manner among the survivors. You can say, or you can say, spouse name so much. This percentage will go to the spouse. In case the spouse is not there, if the spouse predeceases me, then you have to modify the will. You can't write in a will saying that if spouse dies, oh, bahut bada document ho jayega. So you simply say, if unfortunately the spouse predeceases, the person will modify. Small modification has to be done. Will is to be managed proactively. ऐसा नहीं कि आज बनाया रख दिया और 50 साल बाद में खोले, वैसे तो उसको दिमाग आ जाए,
अपडेट
उसको अपडेट अपना देखते रहिए. यस सरोज जी.
थैंक यू.
डॉक्टर सरोज.
Yes, sir. I've got quite many questions.
Yeah.
Suppose the will is probated, still there can be a dispute.
Yeah, there can always be a dispute.
So it can be challenged any time, no?
It can be challenged any time.
What's the use of making a will?
What's the use of making a will? At least you can see what happens is when a will is properly made and it is challenged, what will happen is the will whatever challenge has to be really valid challenge. See, if a will is properly witnessed and made, what are the grounds of challenge? Undue influence, coercion, not being
found. What happens? There are parents who have got multiple properties and they don't want to share, break it and divide it among the children or beneficiaries. So suppose I have got 4 flats. And they are not of equal value. Okay. And I'm, I want to give the testator wants to give the property, 2 of them to the son, which are big one, and the other one, which are small, to the daughter, suppose. And after the death, the daughter challenges the probated will. So what will happen?
Nothing will happen. The court will simply not even admit the case. The will cannot be challenged on account of giving more or less to other person. My father gave me 100 crores to me and 1 crore to my brother, cannot be disputed. The dispute can be, I influenced him to take 100 crores. That can be disputed. So that's why clearly writing that I am of sound mind, if necessary, even take a medical certificate as annual medical checkup karwa lijiye, nobody can dispute your will.
Okay.
The will can be disputed only on 3 grounds.
Yeah.
Or you can simply say all my property will be divided on equal basis on the current value on the day. Let them decide among themselves how they will decide.
Okay.
Because it's property, let's say Chennai, there is a place called Poes Garden. Poes Garden, that's where the cinema star Rajinikanth lives. So suppose you have an apartment there, 2,000 square feet, the cost is about 7.5 crores today. And there is one place called Medavakam where you have a bigger flat, it will be worth about 40 lakhs. Obviously, somebody will say, usko 7 crore, humko 40 lakhs. So you tell them, yeah, isko average karke baant lo. You tell this person, tum usko utna paisa de do, ya usko utna paisa. You can put it there or leave it to them. Only thing, you tell them that don't fight over my property. You tell me now what you want. उस एक को प्रॉपर्टी दिया तो दूसरे को ज्वेलरी दे दो इक्वल वैल्यू, कैश बैलेंस दे दीजिए, एफडी किसी को दे दीजिए.
And what is succession certificate, sir? Succession.
Succession. I'll have to verify.
No, not sub. It is succession.
Succession certificate. Succession certificate means I am the legal heir of the person. I am the father. Legal heir is, suppose I am the only person, I am the succession certificate. After him, it will come to me.
Okay, that comes in that is to be acquired in the case of dispute.
Yeah, you have to go to a court and everybody has to get a legal heir certificate.
Everyone has to be present over there.
Everybody has to get. Even if I am the only son and my father has less property, I have to go there and get a legal heir certificate. Okay, yeah, one more small thing which I would suggest, especially bank accounts, if you are keeping money there, please have a joint bank account. Because if it is in one person's name, it's difficult to get the money out. Meaning it takes time. They will say succession certificate, lao, ye lao, wo lao. Sometimes nominee ko small amounts de dete. If it is an internet account, like it happened when, let's say, the mother passed away, the mother had an account, joint account with the son. And there was a first, kitna jada tha, about lakh of rupees there, not even enough for funeral expenses. The son on that same day did an internet transaction, pura paisa transfer karke nikal, and then gave a letter to the bank, my mother passed away. So zero balance, account got closed. But if you gave a letter with 1 lakh rupees as balance, and then they will say, yeah, certificate now. And your internet will be frozen. So before giving any certificate, take the money out if possible. Yeah, one more thing. There is an instrument called inchoate instrument. इसका मतलब है the testator क्या करते हैं ना, ब्लैंक बॉन्ड पेपर पे साइन करके अपने सन को दे देते हैं. In case something happens to me, you write a will like this. They are called inchoate documents or instruments. Inchoate, INCHOATE, inchoate instruments. So if you have a doubt that the testator has died intestate, and it is a possibility that he has given inchoate instruments to the son, daughter, etc., etc., you can go to a court and simply file an affidavit there saying a request. I mean, you have to file a petition there saying my father, mother, so and so passed away on this date. This is the death certificate. We are not sure whether he has left a will. And these are the persons who are the other survivors. The court may kindly issue notice to them to submit inchoate instruments, if any, lying with them. The court will give a notice. आपके पास signed blank document तो है, तो you have to sign, give it to the court. उसके बाद you cannot do anything. It means these are submitted. Any inchoate instrument, signed document given by so and so, like unsigned. अभी जैसा होता है, मैं company चलाता हूँ, and this person is suffering from Parkinson's disease. So what will he do? He will sign a number of checks and give it to the son-in-law so that the checks can be drawn. So if a notice given, all those things should come back to the court. It's called inchoate instrument procedure. So ये procedure आप लीजिए. And especially when it comes to distribution, share, etc., हम आपको one-to-one advice कर देंगे in case you have a problem. Okay. Yes. Any other person? Hand up. Yeah. Rajendra Shahji. Kashmi Arora. Yeah. Yes, Saroj.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
1 minute. Yeah. Saroj, let her finish.
When we have a joint property in a joint name, and say suppose the wives or one of the whoever is the second holder in a joint property, after the death of first holder, what happens means it goes to the second holder, right?
No, it doesn't automatically go to the second holder. If it's a joint property, 50% of the property share remains with the first holder. It has to be transferred either by intestate, application probate of the will, or the will to transfer it to the second property, to second holder. But sometimes parents make this. I know of a case where the father has registered a property in both the son's name. Ground floor in the first son's name, up first floor in the second son's name. The problem is, if the property is registered separately, they can do whatever like that. But if it's a joint property, it cannot be disposed of without the consent of the other. So if you're having joint property,
No,
I'm not
saying.
I'm able to understand. Like you are having a property registered in two people's names. If one of them dies, that person's share does not automatically go to the other person when it is a transferable property. Intransferable assets.
Say in our Indian case, sir, the husband and wife, they jointly hold a property. Say if they buy a flat, it is in a joint name.
Yeah.
And the husband dies and the wife is the second holder. So what happens? The husband part goes to wife or to the children?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go to the wife. He must make specifically a will.
No, if the will is not there.
If will is not there, the sons can also dispute his share. They can say, we are also equal shareholders.
So they get 1/4 of the share?
Yeah, suppose there is one son, then the joint owner can retain her part of the property, and in the husband's property, she will get half, he will get half.
Okay.
It will be divided equally among, if he has 14 children, it should be divided into 14 plus 1, 15. If he has like Dhritarashtra, 100 children, 100 plus 1.
Okay.
I gave you the worst possible example. It is called Prathama Malla Nyaya. Give the worst possible example. Imagine Dhritarashtra and Gandhari had a joint property. वो था, उसने पांडवा ने जीत के ले लिया. So Dhritarashtra dies. Gandhari has 50% of the property. So Dhritarashtra का portion क्या होगा? It has to be divided into 101 portions. 1 for Gandhari and 100 for the other sons, including Dushala, the daughter.
So does it matter, sir? Sir, does it matter? Does it matter? The wife should be first holder or second holder? Does it make any sense?
First holder, second holder, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And suppose it is first holder and husband is second holder and he dies without making a will.
Same rules. The rules are just the same when it comes to immovable properties.
Oh, okay. I'll make my questions, sir. I've got some 2-3 questions. Meanwhile, you can take some.
Yeah, Rajendra Shah.
Hello.
Good
evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir,
every one of you has to acknowledge one thing. Ek ghante mein. Thank you, seniors, today for arranging this program.
Yes, definitely.
It's a very, very valuable program. Seniors today alone does such programs. I want to acknowledge and everybody to acknowledge the contribution of seniors today.
Yes, definitely. So is it necessary the witness should read the will?
No, not necessary.
Not necessary, no?
He is only attesting my signature, that's all.
Okay.
It's better he doesn't read too much of the will.
Okay.
ये मेरा signature है, attest करो भाई, okay? Yeah, जी, Rashmi.
Okay, sir, okay.
Yeah.
Rashmi Arora, na?
Yeah.
I have a question. Just wanted to ask, stamp paper का कोई value होता है?
It varies from state to state. From 21 rupees to 50-60 rupees तक होता है. 100 rupees is the maximum value.
Okay. And जब वो modification जो करते हैं, यदि will registered है, तो modification के बाद से फिर
modification have to be also registered.
Okay. Thank you.
And registration charges are not very high, 1,500 to 2,500 rupees.
But I've heard that in Kolkata, there the cost of the property, acho, that will be the name changer or
Yeah.
the transfer.
After the property is taken over, the name change they will charge stamp duty about 11%, 6%, 7%, whatever. But for registration, modification, the registration charges are very low.
Sir, after death registration या नाम change कराने के लिए क्या करना होता है?
Whose name change? Whose name change?
The property's legal heirs.
The legal heirs cannot. No amendment can be made on the will.
No, so that is there.
Okay. The will, once the testator is gone, the will cannot be touched.
Okay.
But during the lifetime of the testator, he can make any number of changes.
That I know. That I know.
Any number of changes can be made.
I am not aware about the signing on all the papers.
Every sheet has to be signed.
Yes. Thank
you.
If anything will be there, I'll ask you again.
Surely. Welcome. Hi, Shobha ji.
मुझे कुछ रहता है कि जैसे डिस्प्यूटेड प्रॉपर्टी है,
डिस्प्यूटेड प्रॉपर्टी है,
हाँ, तो उसको हम बिल में कैसे इंक्लूड कर सकते, करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए?
See, if it's a disputed property, where is the question of making a will? आपके पास तो it doesn't belong to you. There is a simple law. You can make a will of a property.
अगर वो हमारे नाम पे है सपोज और थोड़ा डिस्प्यूटेड मींस कि गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से डिस्प्यूट है,
जरा मुझे डिटेल्स चेक करना पड़ेगा. See, if it is my property, I can will it to anyone. अच्छा, and if somebody is disputing, but उसका प्रॉब्लम, उसका सर दर्द है.
वो सर या इलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन है या इलीगल जगह पे बनाया है, उस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम अगर आता है तो.
So then I will have to check. जरा details I will have to check it. Case to case basis में होता है. See, as a testator, अगर my property is disputed, means there is a problem. I cannot pass on a better title than what I have. There is a simple legal law. I can only pass the title I have.
एक तो गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से वो है, दूसरा एक और प्रॉपर्टी है, उसमें यह है कि वो उनका कहने की पोजीशन लेटर आपने ले लिया है और हमें उसका कोई कॉपी मिला नहीं, वो डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है अभी.
Then I will have to check a little more before giving my final.
मैं आपसे थोड़ा डिस्कस कर सकती हूँ?
हाँ, डिस्कस कीजिए. I will tell you what.
There are some questions.
Yeah. Yes जी, राजकुमार जी.
Unmute sir.
राजकुमार जी अनम्यूट कीजिए.
हाँ सर. हेलो, आवाज आ रही है सर?
जी.
ये अभी रिसेंटली मेरे साथ अभी एक मेरे खास मित्र हैं.
हाँ.
उनके नाम पे प्रॉपर्टी है. सपोज एक 2 BHK फ्लैट है और उसका बड़ा लड़का जो है, ही इज वेरी वेल ऑफ. मतलब उसके पास अपना मकान भी है, कार भी है, सब कुछ है. लेकिन उसका छोटा बेटा जो कि उसी के साथ रहता है, बड़ा लड़का अलग ही से रह रहा है तब से लेके, शुरू से लेके. लेकिन अब बड़ा लड़का फोर्स कर रहा है कि मेरे को बड़ी प्रॉपर्टी चाहिए, इसलिए मुझे आधा हिस्सा दीजिए उस मकान का. फादर कह रहे हैं कि अभी आपके पास तो ऑलरेडी एक मकान है, इस छोटे वाले के पास कुछ नहीं है, एंड ही इज डिसेबल्ड आल्सो. तो उस केस में वो चाह रहे हैं कि इसको हम थोड़ा ज्यादा पोर्शन दें. अभी उन्होंने विल नहीं बनाई है. तो वही मेरे को कह रहे थे कि बड़ा लड़का फोर्स कर रहा है कि ये प्रॉपर्टी बेचो और मेरे नाम पे करो.
नहीं, उनको हियर लॉ इज क्वाइट. लॉ ये नहीं बोलता है कि आप डिसेबल्ड को ज्यादा दे दो, एनेबल्ड को कम दे दो, वैसा कुछ नहीं बोलता है. बट द फादर का पूरा राइट है कि सेल्फ अक्वायर्ड प्रॉपर्टी हो तो ही कैन से
उनके नाम पे,
तो he can give the entire property to the second son and he can say no share to the first son. वो बना सकते हैं.
अच्छा, 80% 20% कर सकते हैं,
कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. उसको बोलते हैं कि भाई पूरा का पूरा प्रॉपर्टी सेकंड सन को जाएगा, फर्स्ट सन विल गेट सो मच कैश इंस्टेड. उसका कैश इतना मिल जाएगा. नोबडी कैन. ज्यादा से ज्यादा द फर्स्ट सन कैन कम एंड से अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस केस कर सकता है, उससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं कर सकता.
नहीं, एक चीज और कह रहा है कि वो अभी कह रहा है, मेरे जिंदा होते होते कह रहा है आप पहले अभी प्रॉपर्टी बेचो.
नहीं, अब ही कैन से इट इज अप टू हिम. इट इज अप टू हिम. वो हाँ बोल सकते हैं, ना बोल सकते हैं, अप टू हिम.
अच्छा. नहीं वो नहीं चाह रहे हैं, फिर वो कह रहे हैं
ये
कि मेरे मरने के बाद दोनों दोनों लड़ते रहें। मैंने कहा ऐसा मत कीजिए, एक
अब
विल बना के जाइए,
बना के जाओ, वही बेहतर है। जीते
वही
जी
बेहतर
विल
है।
बना के जाए और उसको बैंक लॉकर में या चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के पास जमा करके जाए।
ठीक है।
मैं तो कहता हूं डिस्प्यूटेड केसेस में बैंक बैलेंस में 2-3 लाख रुपए रखे जाओ, ताकि मेरी अंतिम संस्कार करने के लिए काम आ जाए। वरना बड़ा भाई बेटा बोलेगा मुझे तो कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, मैं क्यों करूं। छोटा बोलेगा
हाँ
मेरा कुछ इनकम है नहीं, मैं कहां से करूं। तो बेटर रोल है 3 लाख रुपए दे दिया, ये 13 to 16 डे फंक्शन में खर्चा करके खिला पिला दो सबको। भाई मैंने तो ऐसा
ठीक
बिल
है।
बना दिया है। आई हैव टोल्ड माई कुछ हो जाए तो दिस इज द अमाउंट देयर, 13 डे का क्रियाकर्म
हाँ,
करो, उसके बाद करो या ना करो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता।
बाद में ना हो दोनों लड़ते रहे अननेसेसरी। मैंने कहा
इट
आप
इज
बिल
नॉट करेक्ट।
जरूर करिए, चाहे कुछ भी
ये
हो।
वो आपस में लड़ने में क्या होता है ना, वो बच्चों का, इफ देयर आर चिल्ड्रन, उनके आपस में प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है। अरे बने बनाए फैमिली। और
जी
एक चीज है, विथ माई डेथ एवरीथिंग इज नॉट क्लोज्ड। एक चीज हमें समझनी चाहिए, ये सनातन धर्म है। मेरे मेरे जब मेरी फिजिकल बॉडी गिरती है ना, उसमें दो और सिस्टम, अंदर का जो सॉफ्टवेयर रहता है, एक सिस्टम सॉफ्टवेयर, एक एप्लीकेशन सॉफ्टवेयर जिंदा रहता है। वो कहीं भी हो, इसका दर्द पहुंचता है, वो दर्द पहुंचता है।
अच्छा, बड़ा लड़का फोर्स तो नहीं कर सकता ना कि अभी बेचो
नहीं,
प्रॉपर्टी
नहीं कर सकता,
उसको?
नहीं कर सकता,
अच्छा, लीगली कुछ नहीं कर सकता।
कुछ नहीं,
ओके।
लीगली भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता। बड़ा फोर्स
ठीक।
कर ही नहीं सकते। माई प्रॉपर्टी, हु कैन फोर्स मी।
अच्छा।
सुनो ब्रा, आप बड़े लड़के को अपने
ठीक।
अपने सीनियर स्टूडियो में लेकर आए, उसको गाना वाना सिखा देंगे, उसका मूड अच्छा कर। थर्सडे वाले थर्सडे वाले प्रोग्राम में लाइए, फाइन ट्यूनिंग कर देंगे उसके गीत। आप बोलेंगे यार
बहुत सर, अपनी मदर की फ्यूनरल में नहीं आया वो लड़का,
और
बताइए।
तब तो उसको गाना वाना कुछ नहीं है, वो तो असुर है, दुर्योधन है।
अरे बिल्कुल। क्या बोलूं मैं आपसे सर, मैं उतना
है ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं, ऐसे भी बहुत
बहुत,
से।
मैं इतना दुख होता है सर, बहुत दुख होता है।
अरे हमारे हमारे राष्ट्रीय चिन्ह में जो जो लाइन है, उसमें बोलते हैं ना, अशोक। अशोक ने तो सबने अपने भाई, चाचा, चचेरे भाई सबको मारा था ना। अरे जहां प्रॉपर्टी हो वहां कूट, बस यहाँ लोभ आ जाता।
सही।
सबको भारत जैसा भाई नहीं मिलता है।
करेक्ट।
राम ने बोला मुझे छो, भरत बोला हम नहीं करेंगे, हम आपको पादुका की सेवा करेंगे। वही कल्चर है हमारी, वही सनातन धर्म है। बट
आजकल
अनफॉर्चुनेटली
नहीं कोई।
कलयुग है। कलयुग में याद रखिए, कलयुग में भाई लॉ ही अलग है। जो होगा भोगी उसको योगी कहलाएगा, जो होगा भोगी वो योगी कहलाएगा। जो जिस जिस बेटी का जो जिस बेटी को हमने कन्या दान करना था, कन्या का धन खाएगा, वैसा है कलयुग में। रामचंद्र कह गए सिया से, वो आप पढ़िए, वो
जी
काकभूषणी की ये वर्क पढ़िए। भैंस
करेक्ट।
जिसके हाथ में होगी लाठी, भैंस वहीं ले जाएगा।
सही ले
जिसके
जाएगा।
हाथ में किंग मेकर की पहो, वो मिनिस्टर मांगेगा। आपके पास मेजोरिटी नहीं हो तो हम मिनिस्ट्री मांगेंगे।
अभी चल, रिसेंटली चल रहा है।
वही है ना, जिसके हाथ में होगी लाठी, भैंस वहीं ले जाए।
मैं तो ही ले जाएगा।
मैं गाड़ी से दो दो
श्री
को मार दूंगा,
राम।
दो दो को मार दूंगा, मेरे हाथ में लाठी है, सारी बोलेंगे कि मैंने कुछ नहीं किया।
गाना भी
कलयुग
है
है,
इसके ऊपर,
सबके ऊपर है।
ऐसा ये कलयुग आएगा।
हाँ, रामचंद्र कह गए सिया से। अभी देखिए प्रोग्राम, हमारा गाने का प्रोग्राम हो जाएगा।
सॉरी सॉरी
वंडरफुल,
सॉरी।
थैंक यू राजकुमार जी, सिद्धांत जी,
ध्यान से अनम्यूट
नमस्कार। अनम्यूट कीजिए।
सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
कल भी आपसे मुलाकात हुई, आज भी आपसे मुलाकात हो रही, बहुत खुशी की बात है। सर आज का प्रोग्राम बड़ा ही खास प्रोग्राम आप लोगों ने, हम लोग सीनियर्स हैं, सीनियर्स की हमेशा टेंशन रहती है अपनी अर्जित संपत्ति को किस तरह से बच्चों में बांटा जाए। तो सर मेरा प्रश्न ये है, मेरी दो ही बेटियां हैं और मेरी जो अर्जित संपत्ति है वो तो मैंने बेटियों के नाम कर दिया है बराबर बराबर, लेकिन जो मेरे पिताजी से इनहेरिट मिली है जो इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी एक ज़मीन है, वो चार मेरे पिताजी के चार भाई थे, उनके नाम पर है वो, लेकिन उन्होंने आपस में कोई ठीक ठाक बंटवारा नहीं किया। अब हम उसके बाद हम लोग आए तो हमारी संख्या बढ़ गई है, तो हमारे बीच एक एमिकेबल सेटलमेंट पॉइंट में आना चाहिए, कोई नहीं आ रहा है। और सर मेरी उम्र 73 हो गई है, मैं भी एक विल बनाना चाहता हूँ कि जो भी मेरी प्रॉपर्टी भविष्य में बनेगी या मेरे बाद वाले डिसाइड करेंगे वो मैं विल में लिख सकता हूँ क्या?
नहीं, उसकी कोई वैलिडिटी नहीं होती जब तक प्रॉपर्टी आपके नाम में नहीं हो, तो वो नहीं बन सकता।
बट मैं लीगल एक हायर हूँ अपने पिता का।
अच्छा, आप एक काम कर सकते हैं, यू गो टू द कोर्ट
ओके
एंड बोलिए कि माय फादर डाइड इंटेस्टेट,
हाँ
मेरी प्रॉपर्टी, आई एम लीगल हेयर, बाकी ब्रदर्स को नोटिस दीजिए, बोलिए मेरा प्रॉपर्टी, मेरा शेयर मुझको ट्रांसफर कर। अभी आप केस ठोक दीजिए, वरना क्या होगा, आपके लाइफ टाइम के बाद आपकी दोनों बेटियों को केस ठोकना पड़ा। तो अब अभी से केस ठोक दीजिए।
सर मेरी बेटियां बड़ी लिबरल है,
अच्छा,
पापा कोर्ट कचहरी के चक्कर में मत जाओ,
अरे
छोड़ दो और शांति से रहो।
वो तो बस सत्य युग त्रेता युग के लोग हैं, आप तो बहुत पुण्य किए हैं, पर फिर भी आप एक केस ठोक दीजिए।
और सही सच में कृष्णन जी मैं कहता हूँ कि केस मुकदमे में जाना नहीं चाहता हूँ, नहीं मिलेगा। मेरी बेटियां जब खुश है, मुझे 2 ही बेटियां हैं, वो खुश है, तो मैं किसके लिए लड़ाई करूँ?
अच्छा, तो आप एक काम कर सकते हैं,
बोलिए।
आपके टोटल भाई कितने हैं? 4 + 2 5।
हमें नहीं, मेरे भाई हैं 4 और 3 बहनें हैं।
अरे वाह।
उसके बाद हमारे चाचा के भी लड़के हैं, मैंने एक बहुत बड़ा करीब 14-15 लोगों का ये।
इसमें को पार्टनर है, आपके 4 भाई,
हाँ,
और आपकी बहनें?
हाँ 3 बहनें।
3 बहनें, तो
चाचा के 4 लड़के,
अरे
और एक चाचा का 1 लड़का। एक चाचा बिना किसी माने इशू के वो गुजर गया।
अच्छा, लगता चचेरे भाई कुछ काम भी किए नहीं, एक सब बच्चा का।
हाँ।
अच्छा, आप एक काम कर सकते हैं,
बोलिए सर।
ये जो फर्स्ट आपके फादर के बाद जो जनरेशन है,
हाँ।
आप एक मीटिंग, आप लोग एक बैठक बुलाइए, आप उसमें अपने बड़े भाई हैं, बोलिए देखो मेरा प्रॉपर्टी का शेयर बनता है, आप कुछ दोगे कि नहीं? वो अगर बोले नहीं देंगे तो बोलिए खुशी खुशी बोलिए मैं अपने सारे राइट्स आप लोग को दे देता हूं, आप लोग बांट लो।
मैं ये भी करना नहीं चाहता हूँ,
तो आप छोड़ दीजिए।
ये भी करना नहीं चाहता हूँ, बस
आप बोलो
मेरी बेटियां संतुष्ट है, वो नहीं चाहती है कि पिताजी इस उम्र में किसी टेंशन में पड़े।
तो इसका
मैं
मतलब
सोचता था कोई बिल अगर बना सकूं मैं, अगर वो आसानी से कुछ वो पालें मेरे मृत्यु के बाद, तो मुझे मेरी आत्मा को जरा सा खुशी होगी। अदरवाइज वो इस लड़ाई में मुझे भी झोंकना नहीं चाहते हैं।
तो आप छोड़ दीजिए।
तो कोई बिल नहीं बन सकता है?
नहीं, कोई नहीं, जो अभी तक आपके हक में आया ही नहीं है, बिल नहीं बन सकता।
अच्छा,
वो कहते हैं ना,
वकील लोग तो बोलते हैं हाँ आप आइए हम सब कुछ कर देंगे, बोलते हैं।
अरे नहीं, वो लॉयर तो बोलेंगे कि भाई आपका नाम का हम सेक्स चेंज कर दें, आपको हम महिला बना देंगे, कुछ भी बना देंगे। जैसे बंबई में आपको मालूम है इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा सेक्स चेंज ऑपरेशन?
नहीं, पता नहीं है।
विक्टोरिया टर्मिनस बन गया छत्रपति शिवाजी स्ट्रीट, देखो सेक्स चेंज ऑपरेशन हो गया।
बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग इंफॉर्मेशन है आपका सर। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
नमस्कार। डॉक्टर गीता गुरु, या हाउ टू डोनेट और मेक विल इन गवर्नमेंट एंड कंपनी, या डॉक्टर गीता गुरु।
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, my question is, I have little property. I don't want to write a will, but give it off whenever I'm alive, so that I see my children enjoying that. Of course, I'll be included in that.
Gift.
After that, gift deed will cost the person less money. So I want to save that amount to that. My children are well off and no greed on it, nothing.
Wonderful.
I want to do it this way. So
You can make it a gift deed. You can make a gift deed
Yes.
In that gift deed, you can make that. Let's say you have two properties and you're giving it to two children as gift.
Yes.
You can say that during my lifetime, I will live in this apartment.
Yes.
After me, this will be gifted to so and so. You can
Yes.
write the gift deed, and in the gift deed, you can say, during my lifetime, I should have unmolested possession of this property.
That can be registered also with
Perfectly,
their,
yes,
with
gift
their
deed.
names.
Yes.
So that I'll see that they are well off, and then I'll be happy about it.
Wonderful. Giving a gift deed is a very good idea because it costs also less.
Yes, yes, because they have to shell down a lot of money after
Yes.
that.
Yes, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank
If you have property abroad and you gift it or will it to somebody in India, then you need Reserve Bank's permission to hold on to that foreign property.
you. Okay.
तो वो I am also an expert in foreign exchange. हम seniors today आपको एक separate session करवा दें. In case you have such property.
Yeah, no. I own only in Bangalore.
Because I was a part of the foreign exchange laws team which drafted all these laws. So कोई foreign exchange problem हो वो भी seniors today के platform में हम solve करवा देंगे.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Saroj, yes, come back. Yes, Rajkumar ji, I'll come back. Yeah, father can gift to second son अभी दे सकते हैं. राजकुमार जी, फादर अभी गिफ्ट दे सकते हैं, नो प्रॉब्लम. अभी गिफ्ट, हाँ बोलिए, अनम्यूट कीजिए.
Sir, if any modification is done in the registered will, then it needs witnesses again?
Yes, you need fresh witnesses and it needs to be registered afresh as an addendum to the earlier will.
But if it is not registered, just handwritten and kept, so
okay, in that case, the court it's up to the court to recognize. The court can say put the stamp under, but witnessing is absolutely necessary. It creates a little legal hassle, original recognized, next one is not registered. It can create legal hassle.
But if the will is made at a, suppose I make it now, and then I live for another 10 years, and I'll have to make changes. How often we will need witnesses then?
Yeah, you have to need, every time you make a change, you will need a witness.
And how to donate it to government? Like,
you just write out a will, that's all. You can say this property is donated to this government department, or you can give it to whatever ashram. And you can, in that case, you notify the people that after me, this will come to you. So there, the trustees or whoever of the property will come and claim in the court and take the property.
Okay.
Whether you donate anything else or not, please ensure that you donate your organs. Yes. Eyes, heart, lungs, liver, skin, सब कुछ donate कर दीजिए. Somebody asked me, will they take their eyes away? I said, अभी कुछ नहीं लेंगे. अभी ज्यादा से ज्यादा आपसे स्किन मांगेंगे और थोड़ा सा लिवर मांगेंगे.
हेयर भी दे सकते हैं सर?
हाँ, दे सकते हैं. हेयर तो अभी भी दे सकते हैं. तिरुपति में देखिए, अभी दे दीजिए, शाम को पहुंच जाए. हेयर, स्किन, आईज, लिवर, लंग्स, सब कुछ दे दें.
जब तक बाल है दे दो, नहीं तो बाद में वो भी नहीं
मिलेंगे. तो विग दे दो, उसके बाद विग दे दो.
People who are getting cancers, they get baldness after this chemotherapy. So they
and it also grows. It grows back in.
Before only they shave their hair, taking chemotherapy, and they make the wig for themselves. Yeah.
In fact, I have seen cases where the hair has grown back more beautifully, more curly, and more sexy.
Yes, my daughter donated hair, sir, for every year there is a donation drive, for anything here in Australia. So she shaved her head off, and that hair was donated for making wig for the cancer people.
Great gesture. Yes. Very, very great gesture.
It happens every day, and then once in a year, not every year, once in a year. And men also grow mustache, they grow beard. For 1 year, they shave it off at the time of donation, and uska bhi wig banate hain sir.
अरे वाह, क्या बात. ये अपने hair की देखिए, लगता है एक अलग से लॉजिक है. I want hair here, but it doesn't grow here. I don't want hair on my ears. That's where it grows.
Nowadays you get small wigs, sir. छोटा
Yeah,
छोटा wig मिलता है, उतना ही आप लगा सकते हैं.
वो देखिए,
You see this one, अपना फिरोज ने किया है ना हेयर ट्रांसप्लांट.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, रजनीकांत ने किया है.
अपने फिरोज ने भी तो किया है ना.
अच्छा, आई डोंट नो दैट. लेकिन ये सी अपना प्रॉब्लम है ना, दिस इज स्मॉल, आवर सेल्फ नॉन एक्सेप्टेंस मेक्स अस गो फॉर कॉस्मेटिक्स. इंडिया में किसी ने एक आइडिया प्लांट कर दिया, आप जब तक गोरी नहीं होगी आपकी शादी नहीं होगी.
शादी नहीं होगी.
और फेयर एंड लवली बोल के कीमल करोड़ों का बेचा उन्होंने. और शादी हुई या ना हुई हमें पता नहीं है. फिर लड़कों को बोला यार तुम फेयर एंड हैंडसम लगाओ तुम्हारी शादी हो जाएगी. तो ये है अपना सेल्फ नॉन एक्सेप्टेंस है. वी विल डू अ सेपरेट सेशन ऑन वेदांता सम अदर डे.
Yes, sir.
So otherwise questions are all answered. Most questions answered.
Yeah.
Even on all legal matters, financial matters, kuch bhi ho, I would like to make it entertaining and joyful. Taki we always laugh. This khushi is very, very important. We all should laugh as much as possible. Because if you are happy and if you are laughing, you save yourself from a disease called Alzheimer's disease, which is a very, very sad condition. So, hasi khushi in our platform, Seniors Today mein, singing ho. Every day you see our programs are aimed at making people happy. So that's our job. And if there are no other questions, thank you very much. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative session. Anybody has any question, or should we?
Any other question? Yeah, welcome. If not, you can even talk to me personally. If it's some personal questions, we can talk to. And let's all pay heartiest of thanks and happiness to our Seniors Today, which does all these programs imaginatively. This program was conceived 15 days ago when I talked with Archana towards that financial management program. I keep experimenting.
Yeah. Sir, आपको डबल सल्यूट. सर आपको बहुत बड़ा सल्यूट है हमारा. रियली आपने जो हमको खुशी देते ना, वाकई में हर टॉपिक पे आप जो एक इतने इंफॉर्मेटिव मिलता है. मैं सोचता हूँ कि आप दिन भर कितना मेहनत करते हैं सर. रियली सल्यूट टू यू.
मैं एक सीक्रेट बताऊं हमको ना, आई नो ओनली वन थिंग, हाउ टू लाफ एंड मेक अदर्स हैप्पी. इसके अलावा मुझे कुछ आता ही नहीं, बाकी सब अपने आप आ जाता है.
सर एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है मेरा.
हाँ जी,
ब्लेसिंग फॉर अस.
हाँ जी डॉली जी बोलिए.
सर जैसे मैंने ऑलरेडी अपनी बेटी को जो उसका शेयर था मैंने दे दिया उसको, so that के बाद में कोई डिस्प्यूट ना हो. लेकिन नाउ मैं आई वुड लाइक टू मेक माय विल, तो उसमें भी उसको मैं शामिल कर सकती हूँ?
कर सकते हैं, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल.
ओके,
यू कैन गिव,
ओके,
फर्दर दे सकते हैं, एब्सोल्यूट नो प्रॉब्लम.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है.
थैंक यू सर.
डॉक्टर गीता, यू वांट टू से समथिंग? एवरीथिंग इज फाइन? Okay, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर. बहुत बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन दी है आपने आज.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See you.
मोहन जी, बस जस्ट मैं एक चीज जानना चाहती थी. मैं फाइनेंशियल मैटर्स के मामले में जीरो कि मतलब गिफ्ट जो है ये इसका एक ऑल्टरनेट हो सकता है ये बिल वगैरह का. ये जो गिफ्टिंग है आप कह रहे थे ना कि गिफ्ट कर सकते हैं, मतलब विच कैन मेक द थिंग्स इजियर.
हाँ हाँ, उसमें जो रजिस्ट्रेशन चार्जेस कम होते हैं.
नहीं, और आई मीन प्रोसीजर भी तो बहुत इजी हो जाता है ना अगर बच्चे मतलब इस तरह की. हाँ
नहीं, गिफ्टिंग का मतलब अभी दे रहे हैं.
हाँ,
तो यू कैन मेक अ गिफ्ट डीड. तो गिफ्ट डीड में पैसे नहीं लगता है, लेकिन वो गिफ्ट जो प्रॉपर्टी उनके ऊपर आता है उसे रजिस्ट्रेशन करते वक्त नेम चेंज के लिए ये लगता है, स्टैंप ड्यूटी लगता है. एक साधारण बॉन्ड पेपर पे, विद अ गवर्नमेंट स्टैम्प पेपर पे, यू कैन राइट आउट अ गिफ्ट डीड. आई सो एंड सो इन कम with sound mind, without influence, I'm gifting this property to my son or daughter or whoever, and these are the schedule of the property. But when you are making a gift deed, there is no time. But when the property is sought to be transferred, the government will ask for stamp duty.
which is 6%.
Yeah, then you're going to
6% or 7%.
Depending, that's a state subject, वो change करते रहते. So if the property is sought to be registered in my name, stamp duty लगता है. It will always be charged. वो गवर्नमेंट का रेवेन्यू है, गवर्नमेंट नहीं छोड़ेगी, तो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी लेकर ही दे. ओके, या रश्मि, you want to ask something?
Oh, but I've heard बाबा कि जो ट्रांसफर करते हो या गिफ्ट करते हो उस पे 7% टैक्स है.
नहीं, गिफ्ट डीड जो है हम बनाते हैं.
अच्छा.
गिफ्ट डीड इज माय बिजनेस. और गिफ्ट को सब रजिस्टर के पास रजिस्टर करते हैं, उसको ज्यादा चार्जेस नहीं लगते हैं, बहुत कम लगते हैं.
अच्छा.
कल गिफ्ट की जो प्रॉपर्टी है उसे मेरे नाम में ट्रांसफर करना हो तो ट्रांसफर स्टैम्प ड्यूटी लगते हैं. दैट 6%, 7%, 11% अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्टेट लॉस.
But somebody on Instagram and all video has come, if you are going to gift property or anything, then 7% you have to pay that gift tax. Is that so?
Gift tax, no, I will have to check that. एक बार check कर.
Please, then I will ask you later on. Just check it.
I'll check it.
Okay, Baba. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
See you all. Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Archana, for hosting this show.
Thank you so much, sir.
We'll think of some other nice subject. I'll recommend another book. एक book recommend अभी करते हैं.
हाँ सर.
Wisdom of Birbal एक book है.
चलेगा. I'll find out the PDF of that.
Okay, it's called Wisdom of Birbal. वो book पढ़ लीजिए, इतना मजा आएगा ना, हम क्या बताएं.
We can share small stories of Birbal.
बहुत सारे stories हैं बिरबल के.
Yeah, it will be very entertaining session.
Yeah. Property transfer भी है, उसमें एक बहुत बढ़िया story है. There was one wazir who was jealous of Birbal. ये story मैं आपको सुना देता हूँ. There was a wazir who was jealous of Birbal. तो उसने अकबर को बोला था कि last week हम नहीं, यहाँ वजीर नहीं है, he was a barber, नाई था. तो he was very jealous of Birbal. तो उसने अकबर को बोला कि लास्ट वीक हम जन्नत होके आए, वहां आपके वाली साहब हुमायूं से मिले. इसे अच्छा, क्या कहे मेरे वाली साहब? उन्होंने कहा यहाँ सब कुछ ठीक है लेकिन लोग खुश नहीं है. बीरबल जैसे कोई हो यहाँ चतुर तो हम लोग हंसी खुशी में बिता दें. तो अकबर ने बीरबल को बोला यार चले जाओ तू. तो वो कैसे जाएगा, मरना पड़ेगा. उसने कहा, अकबर से बोला मुझे 3 महीने का मोहलत दीजिए, तो अपना हुमायूं टुम्ब के पास मुझे को दफना दीजिए, और वहां से अंडरग्राउंड पैसेज उसने अपने घर के लिए बना लिया. तो फलाना तारीख उनको वहां दफना गया. वो पहुंच गया अपना घर, मस्ती किया 1 साल. 1 साल बाद दाढ़ी मूछे लेके फिर अकबर के इसमें आ गया. अकबर बोला तू कौन है? बोला मतलब मैं बीरबल हूँ. ये दाढ़ी मूछे. इसे हाँ मैं अभी जन्नत से लौट के आ रहा हूँ, वहां सब कुछ है लेकिन नाई नहीं है. वो हुमायूं बोले नाई को भेजो. तो नाई ने बोला गलती हो गई बाबा, माफ कर दो. वैसे बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं, तो आई विल सेंड अर्चना लिंक भेजता हूं. लेट्स रीड दैट बुक. उस दिन वी विल हैव फन. एक उस बुक से एक कहानी हम लोग सुनाएंगे और बहुत हंसेंगे. इट विल बी अ लाफ्टर सेशन विद बीरबल. बहुत मजा आए. उसी तरह एक दिन विक्रम बेताल की भी पढ़ते.
हाँ, विक्रम बेताल इज आल्सो नाइस.
लवली स्टोरीज पढ़ेंगे. हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव इज बुक पढ़ो, उसमें से विजडम लो, आपस में खुशी बात.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Oh.
So tomorrow we have a health webinar with Dr. Rajiv Gupta. He is going to talk about dealing with extreme weather change. So please join at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.